This film is about false flag state-sponsored terrorism in America. False flag terrorism goes way back into history, but we're going to start with the first World Trade Center bombing in 1993 and work our way to present day. The U.S. government uses state-sponsored false flag terrorism to get the American public to accept their tyrannical laws and take our freedom and their wars for empire. You have to understand, when I say the government is involved, it is just a small cabal of very powerful men that have the ability to abuse their power and work toward a certain outcome. Okay, we're going to start in 1993 with the first World Trade Center attacks. The FBI was in control of the whole operation. In these type of attacks, most of the people involved believe they are attacking the United States. They have no idea the U.S. government is in total control. The FBI planted a mole or informant inside the New Jersey mosque to set the members up and to control the operation. The FBI's mole was Ahmad Salam. Salam was an ex-Egyptian intelligence agent and was working as a taxi cab driver in New York City. The FBI paid Ahmad Salam $1 million and told him to infiltrate the mosque, work his way to the top, and gain their trust. The FBI then told Salam they were going to give him fake bombs and fake detonators, and was to convince the Al-Qaeda members of the mosque to carry out the World Trade Center bombing of 1993. Just the idea and action of the mosque members would have to do to plan the bombing would be enough to arrest. They wouldn't actually have to carry out the attacks. The FBI watched Salam and the mosque for months. Over the months, Ahmad Salam worked his way to the top of the mosque and became Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman, or the Blind Sheikh's bodyguard. The Blind Sheikh and Ramzi Youssef were the top two Al-Qaeda members in control of the mosque. Ahmad Salam convinced them to participate in the attacks. Youssef was the mastermind or planner of the attacks. Salam's job was to convince them to plan the attack and to get the explosives. The FBI knew the members of the mosque were Al-Qaeda operatives. They knew this because the majority of them fought as Afghan/Al-Qaeda soldiers in the Soviet-Afghan War in the late 1980s. Al-Qaeda was the Afghan army and was fully funded by the CIA and the U.S. government. At this time, with the help of Salam, the FBI had more than enough evidence to bust the mosque, but they chose not to. When it came time to carry out the attacks, the FBI gave Salam real explosives and detonators. He said, "Hold on, I thought this was going to be fake materials just to get enough evidence to arrest these people." This made Salam curious and gave him the idea that he was being set up to be the fall guy in this false flag attack. So he started to record his phone conversations he had with the FBI. Salam caught the head of the FBI, John Antiseve, saying, "You were paid well and regularly for your information and preparing everything." He goes on to say, "We're doing this for a higher reason. We know what we are doing, and we know what it's going to mean in the future." On February 29, 1993, the plan was put into action, and the bomb was planted in the basement or parking garage of the North Tower in a Ryder truck. The idea was to park the truck next to one of the main support columns. This would allow the North Tower to fall over either onto the South Tower or onto Wall Street, killing thousands, although the Ryder truck was parked in the wrong spot and this was avoided. Still, 1,024 people were hurt or killed. After the bombing took place in February of 1993, Ahmad Salam publicly stated that the FBI had prior knowledge and could have prevented the attacks. He released some of the phone conversation tapes to the New York Times that incriminated the FBI. John Antiseve did not disagree with Salam. They admitted to the whole operation. This is all documented. The FBI was going to set up Salam as the fall guy, although they had no idea he was recording the phone conversations.
Last winter, the FBI was praised for its speed in cracking the case of the World Trade Center bombing and bringing 4 suspects to trial. Now, there is some evidence that the FBI may have known of the plot in advance through an informant and might even have stopped the bombing that killed 6 people. Correspondent Jacqueline Adams has the story.
FBI agents might have been able to prevent last February's deadly explosion at New York's World Trade Center. They discussed secretly substituting harmless powder for the explosives, but they didn't, according to the FBI's own informant, Imad Salem. Unbeknownst to the FBI at the time, Salem recorded many of his conversations with his handlers.
I'm holding 903 pages of draft transcripts.
William Kunstler represents Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman and several others charged with conspiring to blow up a series of New York City landmarks 4 months after the World Trade Center bombing. That case has not yet gone to trial. Kunstler confirmed newspaper reports of the Salem transcripts. In one, Salem complains to an FBI agent, "Since the bomb went off, I feel terrible. I feel bad. I feel here is people who don't listen." The agent replies, "Hey, I mean, it wasn't like you didn't try and I didn't try. You can't force people to do the right thing."
There is material in here to show gross governmental misconduct.
The FBI then set up Mohammed Salim. The bomb was planted using a router truck. The morning after the bombing, Mohammed Salim tried to pick up the $400 deposit and was arrested on the spot. Now, who in their right mind would carry out a bombing with a rental truck and be worried about a $400 deposit? The truth of the matter is, he was set up as a patsy. Instantly, the FBI knew who was responsible for the World Trade Center attacks in 1993. They raided the New Jersey mosque and found information on other attacks, to bomb subways and tunnels in New York, to hijack planes and fly them into buildings, and boxes of top-secret military documents. For example, they found documents stating the latitude and longitude coordinates of every secret and normal military base in the continental United States. The way they were getting these top-secret documents was from Ali Mohammed. Ali Mohammed was in the Egyptian military. He got a special visa that gave him clearance to come to the United States and train with the American military. Mohammed worked his way up through the ranks and became a special operations soldier for the United States military. He also trained with the Green Beret. This is how Ali Mohammed got his top-secret security clearance. Ali would drive from the military base he was stationed at every weekend to the mosque in New Jersey. He was training the men and delivering the top-secret documents. The FBI would follow and photograph the Al-Qaeda operatives and Ali Mohammed from the mosque to the outskirts of the city or wooded areas and watch Mohammed train the terrorists with automatic weapons and in hand-to-hand combat. Everything Mohammed was taught by the U.S. military, he was teaching the Al-Qaeda operatives. After the World Trade Center bombing of 1993, both Ali Mohammed and Ramzi Youssef were arrested. Mohammed was arraigned but never sentenced. He is still free to this day. He trains all of Osama bin Laden's bodyguards and troops. Youssef fled the country before his trial. The FBI claims he was picked up in Pakistan in February of 1995 and sentenced to 240 years